What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button. That is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel, because what it does is that it helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm, and it also helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications. Second, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, do me a favor and do yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to inform your family and friends of this news and information. And that also helps give me a boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's now get into today's news. And what I want to do today concerning the migrant crisis is take a trip over to Maine. Now, funny enough, Maine is the same state that attempted to participate in voter suppression by removing Trump from the primary ballot for Super Tuesday, which is today. Now, we all know in a 9-0 sweep in the Supreme Court ruled that states do not have the right to remove a presidential candidate from the ballot under the insurrection clause. So now Trump is back on the ballot. And funny enough, the same citizens of that state where Trump was removed from the ballot originally are also complaining about illegal immigrants getting free rent paid up to 2 years in their communities. Meanwhile, the citizens of said community are struggling to make rent. So let's get into this. This is a very interesting article from Breitbart, and it's titled, "Maine Residents Furious Over $13 million Tax Bill for Taj Mahal, Where Migrants Get 2 Years of Free Rent." Let's jump into this article right now. The apartment complex plan, derisively labeled the Taj Mahal for illegals, took a lot of heat from residents of Brunswick during a February 20th city council meeting. The locals were upset over the fact that the same apartments that cost citizens between $1,800 and $2,300 a month were going to be handed out to illegals for free. You have all these houses being built. That's discrimination in my eyes, Maine resident George Bernier said, according to the Daily Mail. And I quote, "Am I too white? Is that what it is? Do I work too much? What's the discrimination factor? How can we give housing to anyone other than our Brunswick residents first?" he indignantly asked. Fellow resident Lisa Thromley added that the state is neglecting the needs of taxpaying citizens and acting in favor of illegals. "You need to take a look at the needs of our current residents," Thromley said. "If we don't have a plan to take care of the residents, we shouldn't be inviting them to come. No matter where they're coming from, we can't afford it." Many of the brand new buildings were completed in 2023, and the first began taking residents in December. The project was initially funded by a $6 million program, which the state housing authority, Maine Housing, initiated. Now get this portion here at the end. Let me scroll down to the last sentence here, because this is hilarious if you ask me. However, Maine Housing points out that migrants will be required to pay 30% of their income in much reduced rent fees if they get a job. If they get a job. So you're telling me that they could live there for free for 2 years while working and making money under the table, under the guise of, hey, you know, I'm an illegal immigrant who's struggling to find work and I have to live here for free because you said I could for up to 2 years. Meanwhile, they're getting mad money under the table. And at the same time, the residents of Brunswick in Maine can't afford to make rent. Working 2-3 jobs, and you can't pay that $2,300 a month in rent for your apartment. But you have illegal immigrants in Maine that are making money potentially, possibly under the table while operating under the guise of not being able to find work because they know that once they get a job, they're going to have to pay at least a portion of rent. Well, what's the point of getting a job on the books where I have to pay a portion of rent when I can get money under the table and live here for free for 2 years while stacking my money up? I mean, it's common sense. If I was an illegal immigrant, I'd probably be doing the same thing, but it's extremely unfair to the residents of Maine. Now, let's get into this news clip very quickly, just to see, you know, what the local officials have to say. And so you can also see how giddy they are and happy they are for providing illegal immigrants with free rent up to 2 years, while you in Maine struggle to make ends meet. Let's get into this clip right now.
Showed up this morning to the grand opening of new apartments at the Brunswick Landing. These units were built specifically to house asylum seekers as they wait to receive their work permits, which can take months. There will be 60 apartments total here serving this purpose. 24 of them are ready now. State government will essentially pay the rent for 2 years. After that, the buildings will convert to market rate and affordable housing units.
So let's just stop right there. After 2 years, after the illegal immigrants get 2 years of free rent, then it will be, converted into affordable housing that the people, the citizens in Maine actually need right now, but can't find. After the migrants get their 2 years of free rent, then we'll convert over to affordable housing. But let's be real. Guess who's going to have first dibs on the affordable housing? The migrants that are currently living there, not the citizens of Maine. Go figure.
This is a very unique solution to a very exciting opportunity in our state. We have thousands of folks coming to Maine who want to make Maine home, and we're doing everything we can to help that situation.
But let's see what the residents of Maine actually have to say about this. Let's dive into that.
This housing crisis is pathetic. You guys are listening to the state. You have all these houses being built. That's discrimination in my eyes. And I wanted to know if you guys had your lawyer here, because my cousin, my ex-wife, my friend, my black friend, my white friend, any friend, they have to follow the standards of this. If they want to go to a place in Brunswick, they need 3 years tax returns, first month, last month, Social Security, this, that, and it's a battle. Nobody can live. But now you're just going to fill these houses full of people that don't have any of that. They're not even from here. I hate to say it. Half of them are illegal because they came across the border, not through the port of entry. And some may be.
Let's stop there for a quick second. Really think about what he's saying. In Maine, you need first month's rent, last month's rent, the initial down payment, right? Perfect credit score. Show me your taxes so you can see what your income is. You need all this. You need to jump through all these hoops and hurdles just so you can pay, $2,500 a month for a 1-bedroom. Meanwhile, illegal immigrants who just got here because Biden opened the border up for them, they get to live in your city and in your neighborhoods for free up to 2 years for the same apartment complex that would have ran you up to $2,500. That is crazy. The injustice behind that against the citizens of Maine is wild. Let me rewind this back just a little bit, and then we're going to close this out.
Social Security, this, that, and it's a battle. Nobody can live. But now you're just going to fill these houses full of people that don't have any of that. They're not even from here. I hate to say it. Half of them are illegal because they came across the border, not through the port of entry, and some may be legal. Well, if they're legal and they got a job and they're paying their taxes and they're paying their bills and they got 3 months proof of this and that, so what's going on? Am I too white? Is that what it is? Do I work too much? What's the discrimination factor? Where's, like I said in that last meeting, nobody got a hold of me, where is my 2 years free stuff?
You see, where's his 3-year free stuff? He wants 3 years of free stuff. I want 3 years of free stuff too. I want a lot of free stuff. But, unfortunately, none of us cross the border illegally. So we don't get free stuff, and especially not in Maine. You're definitely not getting anything for free. For the citizens of Maine, if you want an overpriced apartment, what you have to do is come up with a large security deposit of first month's rent, last month's rent. You need a perfect credit score. You need 3 months of proof that you've been working at the job that you say you've been working at, and we need to see your taxes. And you still may or may not get the apartment, but you need to jump through all these hoops and hurdles just so you can get an apartment that you can't even afford to pay for. Meanwhile, Biden's migrants get to live 2 years free. I think we all know what we need to do in Maine in 2024. What do we need to do in 2024? In November of this year, what should you all do in Maine? Vote blue no matter who. Biden-Harris 2024. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and share this video out on your social media platforms. Also, follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram is in the description below, and it's also pinned in the comment section as well. And until the next video, vote blue no matter who. Obama-Harris 2024.